I need that song with the he saying in it. But welcome, John Daniels in the building. Whoop, whoop. How are you
Thank
doing
you for
today?
having me here.
Aw. What did you have for breakfast?
Oh,
Did you have breakfast yet?
basically orange juice right now. No, I didn't eat yet, but I
Okay,
was
so
like up all night and I was like I gotta get up in the morning. There was like a gym session I missed and then came home, went to straight to streaming and like now I'm here.
wow, wait, you actually haven't slept
No, I took like a nap. Like I don't know what sleeping means anymore, but like I did take a nap. Like
anymore. DJ Live still, John is pretending it's not pandemic, like still on the DJ schedule. All right, let us know where are you? Because I'm just pretending
so
it's
I'm
morning there, but
Yeah, I'm based out of Toronto, Canada. It's 11 a.m. right now. Yeah, big ups to all my Torontonians. I got family in London. That's like my second home, but yeah.
yeah, we got the same genes. I keep repeating that. But yeah, there's more family outside of me. But yeah, well, John Daniels. Why are you John Daniels? Tell us.
That's a good question. I was like my full name is like the full name of John, and like my last name is actually my last name Daniels. So I used to go by John Vincent, and a lot of people in the club were like, "Oh, like why did you change your name to this Daniels person? Like I know you as Vincent, and like why are you faking your name?" I'm like, "Nah, that's my real name," and like there was really no one famous from my family, so I really wanted to put my name across the board and like bring it across the world. So I got my name in Thailand, London, Paris, and Czech Republic, and like I keep on wanting to push it even further, just to like shout out to my family. But yeah, that's
Well,
what.
what was the Vincent about then?
The what?
Vincent? You said, was that your like first ever DJ name?
Oh yeah, Vincent. Yeah, I just like I was like obsessed with this character named Vincent Valentine, and I was like I just want to be like that. So I just took it as my last name, and I was like I don't want to fake it no more. So like I went back to my original.
And I think
Yeah.
there was a period of baby ego, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think I have like an identity crisis or something.
How many names you
um
changed then? Like, was there only these
um
three or more?
Well, I went through baby ego because of like a egotistic phase that people were trying to throw on me. I wanted to like humble myself, so I started calling myself baby ego for a little while. I went through Skull Kid after like the scary part of my life. That's a different story. I went through a gin buster. But I'm just back to my original name, and like it's easy to pronounce, spell, and read. So, yeah, we're gonna keep it like this.
Did it help you to put your ego down? Humble yourself?
I think so. Like, I really. Wait, did I cut out for a second?
No, no, it's all good.
1 second.
It's all perfect here. I'm having my coffee as well. It's
One
4
second.
p.m., but I was watching John going live and other DJs at night, so I think I'm having my third coffee right now. And yeah, straight after John
Bear with
Daniels, we
me.
got another special guest, which,
If y'all can see, I'm running this through a Bluetooth, and it's someone's call.
I mean, for us, you're all clear and sound, so. But yeah, John is tech support without the
Okay.
mustache.
Yeah, I'm back. I just have to wear headphones now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all good. You're very, we love your background. Did
Oh,
that all
thank you.
like? Did the lockdown made you get some new gear and get all these like streaming friendly decorations around you?
Yeah, it was like kind of like a creative process. Me working with Amazon. They're real close to my bank. Um, yeah, like
Brainstorming.
when I first, yeah, I started streaming because of this DJ named Temmie in London. If y'all know about her, she's quite incredible. She told me about this platform,
Please
and I jumped
continue.
on, and
Who is she?
I was so shy at first, right? And like you could only see my hands, and then I upgraded to like a wall, then a backdrop, and then I was like, let me go all out because they're paying me. I didn't really pay for this; the app did. And then I just started upgrading. I recently got a disco ball, and like I want to keep on building up more and more for the show.
What's the aim? Are you going full virtual? Are you gonna throw it all away on June
Nah,
21st?
I think I always wanted to build my own club, and this is like a template for it. Um, I used to fantasize about like certain venues, and like just like the art behind it. There was this one venue called Union in Toronto, and they had these like crystal lights going down the dance floor. And like when I first started streaming, I had these like crystal lights, like a bootleg version. But I was like, I really want to build my own version of what I'm seeing right now. And Happy 111. Yeah.
Nice one. Tell us what else you learned in the last year, let's say, since we all joined the virtual life. What did you learn? What you've been working on? What have you achieved?
Okay. What I like achieved is building a nice reputation online and like networking with people on whole different levels. Like I met Rick Ross's DJ and like DJs who worked with Black Eyed Peas and all that, and I'm working alongside them, just seeing how they did it and how they're currently doing it, and I'm upgrading them. They're upgrading me. I started reading a lot more about business and like branding. Yeah, it's just been like a whole learning curve this whole time in this pandemic. Um, I wouldn't. I don't know what to say. Like, was the biggest life lesson, but I would just say you can't see it until you see it. So you really have to like put yourself in and learn things that you never wanted to learn at first, because once you get that vision, it's just unseeable. So I would encourage all of y'all just to like enlighten yourself by just reading a little bit more, and like it really helped me this whole pandemic.
So tell us, what are you been working on? I know there are some secret projects that I'm heartbroken that I'm still haven't heard, but let us know like what is coming up.
I am working with a couple artists. My guy Tony Flanger. I am working. I started a project last night. I shouldn't be saying this out loud because he's going to be on the interview next. But there's some stuff coming out with one of your people. My guy Chili Eat Chill. We have a mixtape coming out. I'm working on my own project. I do record a lot of music. I just don't post it enough. And I was supposed to send some to Temmie, but I'm like, I don't know which one I want to broadcast right now. But yeah.
All right, so walk us through everything music related in your life. Cause
All right.
I mean, since DJing and obviously you're saying recording, I assume you're producing. I've heard you are producing, so just walk us through of the timeline of the music bits and pieces in
Okay.
your life.
Well, first and foremost, people don't steal. If you guys have money, buy the DAWs. Don't be like me. I did like when I first started, I was 16 and like I couldn't afford the FL Studio and the Logic and all that. So I got it for myself and I learned how to do it, and it kind of grew. And then I started purchasing as I got older. But I realized during down that path, like this was not making me the money DJing did. So I kind of pushed it aside. I was recording a lot. I went to school for multimedia, so I started like branding myself, and I'm like, this is how I want to be. Branding is like the character, and I tried making that character the best way possible. But then I realized I was like, this is not really what's feeding me right now. And like, Canada is not the easiest place to live. So I really just had to focus on DJing, and like I started by myself. A friend named DJ Shadow came over. He really showed me the ropes, and like my guy Crystal Rock, he started flying me around the world. Big ups to my guy. But yeah, it was like a long path, but I feel like it's still going pretty strong.
Wait, so are you saying that you actually started producing before you started DJing?
Technically, yes. Like the first time was my
Whoa.
older brother. He got FL Studios. Like I didn't bootleg it. And then he was showing me like, oh, my boys are making beats. I'm like, oh shoot, let me try that. And like I didn't know how to put a kick and a snare together to make it sound good. So it just took me a while. And after DJing, I'm like, this is what I want to hear because it works in the club. So I went back to producing. and then started making stuff for venues. And like I used to drop it on like Friday nights and stuff. People wouldn't know it's me, but like it's cool. Like I take no shame or judgment on.
So when did you realize like you want to do music? Was it before or during the creation 16 onwards?
Okay, it's kind of interesting because I had no interest in music growing up. Like I hated hip hop, and like my cousin from
Ooh.
London, Jordan, shout out to him. He would come over and he would whistle in my ear. I would start screaming. I was young. My brothers would play like all this hip hop music. I'm like I don't want to hear it, right? Because it's like bashing the women, and like I'm a big ladies lover. Like I ride for them. I have a single, well,
Whoop
like
whoop.
shouts out the single mothers out there. But yeah, just hearing what they had to say, I was like, I don't stand for this. And then like as I grew older, I was like, it kind of bangs. Like I actually kind of feel this, but it wasn't that I connected with what they were saying. It was just the feeling. Like I seen like the culture move and grow. And I was like, man, maybe this could work out. So I slowly dived in. But to be honest, I didn't want this at first.
Do you remember who you wanted to be like when you were, I don't know, couple years old? So it's 5, 6, 7. Doctor, lawyer.
I want to be like I'm telling you, after the love of hip hop, I wanted to be Lil Wayne, and like I think that was like a turning point. I started wearing baggy jeans, bandanas, like crazy clothing, and I was like, I just want to be like this guy. And then I realized he kind of looks like a cockroach, but he's my favorite cockroach. And like, big up so easy. It's the lyrics behind the character that got me. I was like, man, like I want to be like that one day. And then I grew up, and I was like, I'm not gonna be like I ain't sipping no lean. But yeah.
So what was your family listening to music growing up? Like, do you remember hearing any particular genre like as a kid?
Well,
You
I
said you
grew
didn't
up in
like
the
hip
church.
hop. Like, what did you like? Did you listen to music at all, or was it quiet?
It was interesting. Like I grew up in the church, and like there was a lot of gospel being played.
Ooh.
A lot of my family are musicians, like keyboard players, like drummers, singers. And I was like, shoot, these guys are so good, right? And like gospel became one of my favorite genres of all time. And it still is. Like I listen to a lot of gospel on the low, and I feel like that's where my music resides. I'm like, I don't want the auto tune. I don't want the quanti voices. I just want to hear the raw feeling of your soul, right? Just singing out.
Mm.
So yeah, gospel is really what tuned me into music, realistically.
Mhm. Have you ever played an instrument yourself? You mentioned your family.
Okay, well I dabbled with the keyboard, I dabbled with the guitar as well, but like I'm not like a pro like other people. My instrument of choice is turntables. I don't care what y'all say if it's not, but there's a lot of things that we can do that y'all musicians can't do. So these are mine. So
So tell us, how did you get your first equipment? I feel like it's church
oh,
related.
yeah. Yo, it's crazy. There was a guy in the church named Dan Porter. He's like, yo, homie, I'm gonna start a school or a family, and like have a bunch of kids. Right? It's basically a school. And he was like, yo, kid, do you want my equipment? I was like, sure. He's like, on one condition. I'm like, what is it? He's like, as long as you pass school. I'm like, do you think I'm gonna flunk because I'm black? And like, he was a white guy. It's fine. He didn't actually react. But he actually offered me the keys to his car. He's like, you could take one of two. And I wanted the car, but I had no license. So he gave me the equipment. I had no idea what it was. So I started, and like it kind of just like took off. And like
Wow.
if just for like specs and all that, it was a DNS 5000. Like they're like Denon little CD players and like a mixer. I didn't even have a laptop. I had to keep on burning CDs. And then at the parties, there better be a light at the party because I couldn't really see well, and it was all through memory and like listening. And while the people are like attacking you, like you got to make sure your CDs are not wet and stuff. It was crazy. It was like way harder than now, but yeah.
Do you still got it?
Yeah, I like they're in a coffin. Like I bought a proper coffin for them, and they just like lay beside me,
Why is it not
in my
working
little
anymore?
studio. Huh?
Is it not working anymore?
No, they work. It's just like it's old equipment, and I do like turntables a lot more now. But
All right. So you mentioned this guy, and I mean, stereotypes of being black, not being, I don't know, good at school or whatever. Tell us, how was it growing up in Toronto, Canada? What was your childhood like? Your school years? Um.
oh man, it was crazy. I did get bullied a lot. Bullied a lot. Yeah, because my torso was pretty high. Like I had like long legs. I was tall. I was like looking weird from the get go. I always had a mohawk of some sort growing up. I had people stealing my money. It was crazy. We would get like an allowance, and then it would be like $2 in change, and that could give you two slices of pizza and a pop, and I would get robbed every day. And like these guys were rough. Like I kind of grew up in like a hard spot in Toronto, but like it was crazy. Like I seen people die on the regular and stuff, and like I felt like if I stayed there, life would just be different for me. But uh, we soon left, and life did change. So it was kind of crazy.
How come? Why do you think you weren't hooked up in that environment? I mean, we know a lot of musicians, I assume, and in general, people saying they didn't really have a choice. I mean, what was the moving places like the main change, or
Yeah,
was it your
I
character
do.
that
I
you
do
just?
feel. I do feel like environment really helps your craft in any which way. If you are in a very like loud, destructive environment, you will not be producing the greatest sometimes to your abilities. Sometimes it depends on the person. But I do believe in quiet spaces can really unlock your real character. I'm not saying that loud and abrupt can't, but I'm just saying through my experiences, being alone for so long and not having like people knocking on your door or ringing down your bell, like looking for you, it really helps you build on who you really are inside. So
So how would you think that shaped you? Like, did that had a? Do you feel like it affected of the person who you are right
I
now?
feel so. Like I feel so like I'm not one to run around with friends and all that, so I wasn't influenced. I don't feel like I am a part of the people I chill around. I am me. And like if they want to influence me, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. I act like a brick wall. No, I don't just act like it. I am. And like it's tough for people to influence my taste. And like
Mhm.
I do respect all my friends, but it's like I built this up for me. And like a lot of people will try and tear you down and copy you, but we're as unique as a fingerprint. So y'all could try your best, but we will never be the same. But I do believe in like keeping to your silence and just like figuring yourself out before you start hanging around people, before they figure you out. You know what I mean?
Mhm. How would you describe yourself? I guess as an artist, that's a bit of a hard one. Where you do sound quite self-aware. I mean, do you like just tell us who you are? Like who? I mean, straight shout out yourself, or exactly like what do you think makes you unique as a person, as an artist, and is it
I
like
don't want to sound contradicting, but a lot of the style I grew up with, like it was watching other people perform, and like I got a little bit from Temmie from the reggae, I got a little bit from Chris from the hip hop, I got a little bit from Ike from like the club style, and like a lot of this kind of grew up like me just watching, me being silent, learning how to listen. It actually helped my skills like develop in a certain way because I would go home and I'm like, how did they do that? I didn't ask them, but like I would just go home and try it myself. So I feel like I am one of many, but I am still myself. It's like kind of confusing. It's like I like to learn off of people without them really knowing. Like I'll soak it in like a sponge. But yeah,
no? I mean, of
I feel
course, I
like
think our atmosphere like affects us, and we just pick the best of a lot of. I mean, that's how I guess we create our style. Everything else is created. It's just there's. I mean, I
no for real.
completely get it. But so you mentioned you didn't really like listening music when you were younger, but then you did watch a lot of performances and stuff. Like, so how did your love for music grew, or did you mean you loved gospel and you always loved music? But
Well, it kind of like these are in all different timelines, right? When I was going to church, like I was very young. I still would go, but it's like right now it's a whole different season. I think it was like all the little camps I went to, seeing Hillsongs, seeing street performers. It kind of just like grew on me. I was like, what do they have that's making them so happy and they're just performing alone? So, just watching that, I was like, I really want to like digest whatever they're doing like on my ones and just figure it out. So, later when I got the equipment playing in the basement, it kind of just like clicked one night. I was like, why do I feel like my mind is not here, but my body is here? And it's like, I think it's the music, and I kind of just dove deeper and just like tried to find new levels of it, and watching performers perform, and I'll try and put my life in their shoes and feel what it is like to be on stage. Obviously it's not the same feeling, but you can kind of feel an artist when they're really going hard. um like it kind of really helped just watching like throughout that timeline, if that makes sense.
mm-hmm. No, yeah, that sounds great. I think we all, as an artist, had that. I don't know if you've seen Soul, the animated movie. I think you did. We spoke
Yeah, I
about it,
love
right?
Soul. Yo,
Yeah, I
that
feel like
show is
that
sick.
really
I mean, movie.
illustrates that. Yeah, it really
Yeah,
illustrates.
about the kid with the guitar, and the mom didn't want him to play, or the grandma, and then yeah, it was like a long. Are you talking about that one, or is Soul the one with Jamie Foxx? Because like I'm thinking about
No, the
two
new
different movies
Disney
right now.
animated movie where they're saying that like we all have our like a purpose in life, and for a lot of people that's arts, and I mean how you if you lose that purpose, you're kind of a
That's
gray
right.
soul.
Yeah. Okay, that is the one with Jamie. I believe it's Jamie Foxx. And he's
Yeah.
playing the keys and all that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that was like inspiring for real. Um,
Yeah, and then there
can I
was
ask
like
you a question, or like is that like against the rules right now?
you can. I mean, this is conversation.
Like how did you get on this whole radio thing? And like you're pretty confident in what you're doing now. So like, how
Shout
does it
out
feel?
Bigo Live. Bigo changed our lives.
Big
I
ups.
found
Yep.
Pyro through Bigo, like, and I found the radio through Bigo. So, guys, Bigo
Word.
Live, holla at us. We're gonna hook you up.
Yeah. Yo, for real. Like I only accept dragons. If y'all want to figure out what that is, like hit me up on the app. Yeah, I'll teach you.
Yeah, TK me. Um, no, yeah, actually, I did. I mean, you know me. I'm very. I mean, I know for a lot of artists, like main way of getting anything really in the industry is networking, and that's one of my struggles because I'm socially antisocial. I think you can relate to that. So yeah, I mean, I do like one of my fears in life is approaching people and just in general like I'm using and bothering. I don't know. I always feel like if I talk to someone, I'm like annoying them. Partially because
Yeah,
when
no, I
people approach me, I feel that way. but, but
feel
yeah, I
that
mean,
energy for
no,
real.
yeah, it was virtually. I think it was just so yeah, was it what's his name? Sharks? Yeah, there was one DJ. He actually left the studio this year, but yeah, I think it was Sharks that he came up, and I think his bio probably said radio something, or maybe I asked like, what's up, like what you up to or something, and he said radio, and I was like, where's the radio? And they said London. I was like, I'm in London. Can I get it? And like legit, like he just messaged me, I think, and I recorded a mix and I sent it to DJ Sin that's in the building right now. Shout outs. But yeah, and then we
Big
spoke
ups.
over the phone, and then I started really, like when I started doing Bigo every day, I would just DJ on Bigo and I would record a mix, and then the next day I would go for like my daily quarantine walk. So I wasn't leaving the house, but I would just like record a mix in the evening, and then in the morning I would like upload it to SoundCloud, go for a walk, listen for an hour. If it sounds decent, I send it to them. And yeah, that's how really it started. I just sending mixes, and then I came to the studio and really just been here ever since. I
No, I'm
couldn't
only
speak to
asking
my yeah.
because there's a lot of people that may be watching this in the future wondering like how do you get into that place, and like just a little bit of a background story can really help their path. So shout out to anyone that wants to be like Temi, because she's doing amazing things right now. Like I'm broadcasting live from Toronto in London, and who would have thought this would have happened today? Big ups to you.
No, yeah, I mean, we found each other on Instagram as well, so just shout out internet. I think is like the worst and the best place still. I started watching
Yeah.
Social Dilemma. I don't know if anyone's seen on Netflix about like the whole manipulation
I think
plan
Mo
of.
told me about that. I never
Yeah.
seen it though.
No, I mean,
But
I'm bad at watching movies. I only watched 20 minutes so far, but that's already. I mean, I'm saying that like I do agree that it's also Kermit the Frog. No, was it not Kermit? Not Kermit. What's his name? The
that was
Evergreen
Kermit
Frogs.
though.
Was it Kermit? The
Like
Evergreen
there's
Fox.
like Geico, there's like Kermit, like like I don't
Ah,
know what
no, no,
other
poo
frog I
poo. No,
know,
poo.
but
Is it
like
poo poo? Peep, 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 peepa, peep, peep,
oh
peep.
I know. Okay, yeah, the guy
Peppa,
with the hat.
Peppa,
Like are you
Peppa.
talking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Frog
yeah,
Peppa. No, so I
yeah.
recently watched. I mean, this is a bit out of a topic, but I mean,
It's
what
all
is the
good.
topic? We are making topics. So yeah, I watched this documentary recently about Peppa the Frog, and it was also of how it was made as like animated character that like a lot of I don't know middle-aged guys whatever could relate to, like so like kind of living in a student's hall, drinking beers, like not really caring about stuff, blah blah, and how it actually became like a trending viral meme, and then how that meme transformed into different movements, and how it was started being using for like a white supremacist kind of
Yeah.
protest and like a lot of bad things, and then how creator was not like it was a documentary how I mean I think it's on BBC One. That creator was spoke of how he made a animated character and how he completely had no control on how that image started navigating throughout social media, because people started using it as Trump, like changing Frog's face to Trump, and just using for all these movements and topics that were, I mean, terrorism and a lot of bad things. And then they kind of tried to save the Peppa, made this whole positive movement, and yeah, just summarize that internet is the best and the worst place.
Yeah, yeah, it's like there's a lot of pros and cons, and like shout out to the internet for making us meet each other. But there's cons to it because back in March, like last year, I came home from a tour and I quickly deactivated my IG because like a month or a few weeks in, I just seen so much flexing during the pandemic, and it was not doing well for me. I was like, I don't think like I want to push my body to go outside to take pictures or go set off a party. Um, to rebel against like what the government's telling me right now. And I was like, I don't care how lit or cool it looks like. I just don't want to be a part of it. And because of the internet, like that the trending thing of like we can rebel too on here, I was like, it kind of like downgraded my feelings towards like connecting with some of those people. So I deactivated my IG just to save my mental health. And sometimes you got to do it just for a little bit. It doesn't mean like it's forever, but sometimes it's like too much. And
Yeah, I was
um,
just actually just about to ask you because you shouted me out. So I wanted to say, obviously, if anyone's listening, I am available of any like questions and
for
stuff.
real.
And yeah, and I wanted just to say, I mean, you can reach me out at like DJ Temi on social media. But then, what about you? Where do we dig you out?
Okay, well, media is like kind of low key. You guys could just like Google DJ John Daniels, and you'll just find my contact through there. Like I am on Google. You guys can't check my network
What's your Gmail?
because whatever. But yeah, you guys could just like hit me up just through Google. I have multiple ways of like finding a way to hit you up too. But I just don't mess with IG right now. It was too much, and yeah.
Well, like, so it's been almost a year now. You're saying that you deactivated. Did you ever miss it?
Say at all. Like I see, ever since Beagle, like I don't stream it unless I'm getting money for it. So I do not want to waste my
Mm.
time fighting for a like. I don't care if you don't even like it. It just like it stresses me out that you have to think about a post, a caption, and all that for someone to double tap it and just move on with their day. And really, the algorithms are crazy. People like to post and check it right away, but the new algorithm, it works like if you post it and move away from your phone for an hour, Instagram will send you a bunch of likes, so they bring you back. So it's like it's a double chain. It's like you are looking, but they're looking for you. And I'm like, I'm just not into this whole rat race. So unless they started paying money, I don't think I'll be back for a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely jealous for that because I do live on IG, and yeah, it is a part of my validation process daily.
Yeah,
Like
and
me.
like, yo, don't get me wrong, IG is very useful. I found Temmie on there, and I can't say like that was a bad thing at all because now we're connecting on the radio. But for some people, if it's messing up your mental health, just take a break. Like, don't be afraid. Like, people will not like go crazy that you're gone, or if you want them to, they can. But like, just take a break for yourself. Like, it's you first and foremost. You don't want to be looking crazy like me one day. Um,
No, yeah, like they also mentioned, I think we were studying this recently in my lectures. That's why also like Instagram is so bad of like posting links and stuff because they want you to keep you on the app, so you can't really press any links. The only link you can add, like link in bio, even that one is like it kind of
yeah,
opens on the same page and it doesn't redirect you anywhere because yeah, Instagram wants you to stay there.
it is like a maze, and like I feel like they are trendsetters. Like if you guys want to find like the latest thing, go on IG, you'll find it all. But for right now, like I rather stay on Bigo because if I do 10 minutes or 30 minutes, I could still make money, and like we cash out in USD to a Canadian, that's a real nice price, and like yeah, I just rather get paid for what I do online. And if Instagram changes that, I'll be right back. Like tonight, I swear.
All right, so besides virtual world, when was your last gig, real life gig? We know that you just came out of Bigo. We can see that.
Oh my gosh. My last gig ever was in Brno inside Prague. I mean, sorry, Czech Republic. It was like beside Prague, but like it was like this low key joint because the whole tour got shut down. We were supposed to be playing at all these clubs like Fancy Lounge and like M1, like all these cool spots, and like we got left with the last party of the city. So we played a party. Shouts to my guy DJ DCR Milda. He set that part up, and yeah, that was it. Like after that, it was like you got to stay indoors. Only 10 people per house. Only this, only that. And like I was in this whole pandemic overseas as a Canadian, and all my people back home were screaming at me. They're like, "Yo, come back home." Like I'm like, "I can't." Like there's literally no flights right now, but yeah, me and DCR Milda flew to London and just chilled for a little bit, and like that was it. Like I was shocked. I was like, I don't know what to do right now. Like it
Yeah,
was hard, but
I remember last night at Liberty, like 2 or couple of days before the national lockdown. Here we're still partying. Everyone's
oh,
coughing
but
around.
London was pushing their boundaries, man. I was like, shouts to London.
All
Yeah, they're
right.
crazy.
Yeah, and also just jumping back to your life. Where do you remember your first ever gig? Like
Oh yeah.
paid one, booked. Who booked you? How did that happen?
Oh wait, did I get paid for it? I don't really know because this guy still owes me money. I ain't gonna shout him out because he still owes me money.
Shut up.
Uh, Nah, like he ain't get no shout outs. But I remember doing this house party for this like
Shut
18
down.
year old when I was like for when I was 16, and then it was like a basement jam. It was so interesting. The people I seen in there just like kept on popping up in my life like year after year. But I had my old equipment, no laptop, just CDs, and they're like, "Yo, play reggae." The only reggae I had was some like gospel reggae, so I put that in there. It was like gospel dancehall. People were bumping and grinding to the name of Jesus, and I was like, man, I can't believe what's happening in front of me.
Oh my
It was a crazy sight to see. But yeah, that guy got me into this place with the Megan Boys, and they're like an organization for bar mitzvahs. So I started doing parties with them, but they would charge $700 for one party and then pay all the DJs $74. I'm like, I was young. I was like, I just want the opportunities, and I really messed up because I could have like made more off of those moments, but yeah, and then I left them to do my own thing. Chris came around, and then he started booking me everywhere, and then give me what I was worth. I was like, man, thank you.
Wait, so
But
was
yeah,
Chris like Chris came really early in your career? When did you
yeah,
meet?
I think I was like turning 18 when I met Chris, and then first night, like I told my people I'm really close with my homie Tony Flanger, and there was a guy I don't really talk to no more, so he didn't get no shout outs. But I was I was talking with Chris on the phone. He's like, "Yo, what you doing tonight?" I'm like, just like making music. He's like, "Come out with me." I'm like, "Where we going?" He's like, "Don't worry, just like be ready for this time." I'm like, "I'll pick you up." I'm like, "All right, cool." So he brings me to like 7 different clubs, and they're all huge. It was my first time in Toronto, like going out, and I was like, he just walked me in every club, so I never knew what lining up was, or like paying for anything. Everything was like I felt like a prince, just like a young guy just walking through, watching what's happening. He was saying hello to everyone, and I was just watching how he did it, and I think it was that mentality that taught me how to be like who I am today, kind of just like be respectful and quiet about whatever you're doing. But yeah,
Oh,
shouts to
that's
Chris.
amazing.
That's
Yeah,
my
shout
guy.
outs, Chris. Thank you for bringing us joy.
Yeah.
All right. So you said you be quiet, but don't be quiet. Tell us what is the highest, like, what was your highlight of the DJing or music career? Brag.
I think it
Show
was
off.
like, yo, one of the highlights. One day, Temmie, I know this seems small, but it's dope. One day, Temmie hits me up, and she's like, "Hey, can you like drop a 30-minute mix? And then I'll drop a 30-minute mix, and then we'll post it on SoundCloud." We blended
Lies,
that thing
all
together.
lies.
Yo, and that thing is lit. So if you guys want to find that mix, it's on SoundCloud right now. Look up DJ John Daniels. That thing is crazy fire. That was my first time collabing with Temmie, so that was lit.
Highlight of your career. Guys, send me 30 minutes mix, and apparently that will change your life. What is
It
like
will
10,
change your
10,
life.
10 views or something on SoundCloud? 10 listens?
No, but it was lit. I really I enjoyed. I think my favorite time ever was like flying off to Thailand alone. Just like playing on a boat, watching dolphins go by, dancing to your music in the waves, and like going to places you never thought you'll come back home to. Um, I think it was the best time in my life. But yeah, like apart from that, just like meeting cool people. Like it's a highlight every single time. Watching like, oh my gosh, Tory Lanez is in the building. Oh my goodness, there's like Little John. Like it's just cool seeing like the great people that you kind of grew up hearing, and then they're just in your face now. So there was like many cool moments. I don't want to say like there's one amazing moment, but like you know, like I don't know how to act when that stuff happens, so I stand there and just be me, and like like I don't get starstruck like that, but it's just cool. Like I don't know how to like pinpoint that dopest moment for what's happening right now, because I feel like it didn't happen yet, and like it's still going. So
Hmm. Do you have the worst moment? The biggest obstacle? The biggest downtime in the career? Music
I
related?
have a couple. I remember this one party I did, like I flew down the highway. I was like speeding to get there. I never got a speeding ticket, knock on wood, touch wood. But like I got to the venue set up because I needed my own equipment. I had to set up. And like when I put down my bag, I realized I didn't actually put down my bag because I don't have my bag, and I left my laptop at home. So I had to leave and go back home, 40 minutes back home to get my bag. So I'm like, my boys, stay with my equipment, please. Don't let anyone touch anything. Anyway, so I come back. All my people are turned. They're all like in the washroom, throwing up. I'm like, I can't trust anybody. So I got the party started like 40 minutes after, or like really an hour after. But like, that was the scariest part. I was so young at the time, and like it never happened again. But there was other times where like I seen my cousin, he got stabbed in my own party. Like it wasn't my party, but I was playing out of town, and someone came up and literally stabbed him in the booth. And like I looked around, and then he's like, "Yo, I don't know if I'm gonna make it." And I looked back at the crowd, and I looked back at him, and I was like, "I don't believe what's happening. Like what?" So I called the manager, I called security, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I gotta shut down this party, and I gotta take my boy to the hospital." And like that night, it was so crazy. They had to shut down the club that night, and like
Did they
I just couldn't
find
believe what was happening.
did they caught the person who did it? I mean, everyone
Apparently
saw
he's
it.
in jail, but like it's different. We think differently. Like I was like, ah, it was a hard time. I have a lot to
That's
say about
crazy.
that, but yeah, there was like good and bad moments. Like they pop up from time to time, but not every time.
Oh my god, no, that's insane. Um, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I knew the story, and I'm still every time like, whoa. Yeah,
It's
that's the
it's weird,
reality
but
of the
it's
nightlife.
like, what do you do at that moment? It's like, do you serve the people or watch your own blood die in front of you? It's like you really have to pick and choose at these points. And like my family is the reason why I'm still holding on to this whole thing. So I don't mind just turning for my brother and just like taking care of him. I know like professionals would be like, "What are you doing? Like keep the party going." But it's like I don't want to see people die for what I'm doing right now. Like it's crazy.
Of
This
course.
is not a warfare. We're not equipped with AKs or whatever. Like we're equipped with turntables, but
No,
it's
exactly. I mean, there's limits for everything, and yeah, this just reminds me. Um, well, with a little context, I don't know. Obviously, you're not on Instagram, but in UK, oh my god, I'm even scared giving the whole background story because it's gonna take me an hour. But so basically, when women recently, Sarah Everard disappeared in London, walking at night at like 9 p.m. from friends, So like she passed away and stuff. I mean, it's not completely confirmed yet, but that kind of pushed. And there's also the survey that was done by Guardian that like a lot of um women feel unsafe, and then there was another survey. I mean that like 97% have been like sexually harassed, and then there's another survey done by women in CTRL, like creative organization, saying that like 39% of women in radio stations are feeling unsafe at work. But what I'm trying to say with this whole movement, well, I spoke about this already earlier in my second podcast episode this morning, but what I wanted to just quickly relate to that is that kind of sparked a lot of conversations, and one of them was in my WhatsApp group with the Six Club. Like the Six Club
yep.
people, that a lot of
Big ups
people
to the
that
Six
work,
Club.
yeah, and a lot of people work in like nightlife. I mean, the vast majority of people are promoters, DJs, hostesses, sound engineers. So I mean all that, and yeah, and they also shared a couple of, I mean, from a women's perspective, but some sort of, harassment that came from like rich clients, I guess, side,
That's
that
right.
they would, the best they would get would be banned for a couple of months, but no one really. It's that whole tricky situation when something completely out of crazy happens, but then there's always a question of money, and if we can lose it, if we can stop the night, if someone's about to pass away, if someone's been like seriously
Yeah.
injured or attacked, or like someone's been sexually harassed, can we even stop a night? So that's like the whole big other discussion
I
about.
guess it really depends on your attitude for it. You can be like really ignorant and like keep on going if you're that hungry for the cash. Like maybe for you in your head it's worth it, go ahead. But if it's someone that you really care for, if it's humanity that you care for, then just pump your brakes and just like really realize like who matters in this situation. Dollars could be made every single day. Like I made $1 before I even got on here. So you can make money every single day. People's lives, they could go away just like that. So it's like, what do you want to do? Like I don't want to live knowing that I like watch someone die so I could gain another dollar. But it really
No.
depends on who you are. It just
Yeah, exactly. I guess the whole question of like, why are you even in this music or entertainment industry in the first place? Like, do you like seeing people having fun, and then if someone's injured, obviously people are not having fun, or is it just strictly business, strictly bling bling, and like the image and the money?
Yeah, it just depends on the person, and like I love this industry because this place gives me life, and like just watching people have a good time and like release anything that they're going through, just dancing their pain away. I don't care how it is that they want to release it, like just being like that outlet for it. Like I feel honored just to create that whole like aroma for them, and like I know what it is to go through hard times and like not being able to sleep, eat, and like you're turning up too much.
Mm.
Yeah, just like what Too Short says, blow the whistle. And like what that actually means is like if someone's doing too much, like call them out. It's actually not like a turn up call. It's like if someone is too turnt, blow the whistle. Too Short is like big guy in my life. I know that seems weird to say because I actually don't play a lot of Too Short, but um, big ups to him. Yeah.
Mhm. Um. Yeah. So, just a bit continuing with about the music and stuff. You mentioned a lot of genres. I mean, gospel and stuff. But what is the music you play? Like, is it completely open format? Is it just reggae, hip hop, club music? Like, what is your favorite style
Okay.
outside of gospel?
I do love all the Kendricks and the Drakes and all that. Like I do rep a lot of city music, like the Tory Lanes and all that, because I'm from Toronto, so I do love the music that is made at home. I love the American music. Shout out to Atlanta. They have so many sick artists out there. But like Headliner Music Club, I gotta shout you out because you've been sending so many bangers, and like I like remixes. I
Mm.
do like my Latin sound. I don't play it too often because the clubs are not open, so I don't have to. But I do love like Jersey Club and like Dirty Dutch, Jungle Dutch, my house music, my deep house, my disco. Like I have a certain love for each genre in a different way. But yeah, my R&B head shouts to all y'all. I kind of dabble into everything, but it's like every little genre is like a pedal to me, and like I gotta take care of them. Like I don't make them fall off. So I really want to dive in to deeper genres just to grow that flavor up just a little. But
Mhm. Do you have a favorite artist?
yo, that's so hard. Like I would pick a
I
favorite artist from
know.
each genre. Like classically, like it's Diana Ross for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's my girl. Shouts to Diana Ross. Like if there's anyone I want to meet, it's probably Diana Ross. Big ups to my girl. But yeah, like apart from that, it'll be like Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross. I like that's like my classic phase. I like the SOS band and like the Supremes. That's like the old like, but hip hop wise, there's so many names. Like Lil Reek is on the come up. I still love Drake the most. Um, like R&B, shouts to my guy Usher. Like I don't know, like there's so many like different genres. I can't say one of them is my favorite, so it's kind of hard to say. Do you have a favorite?
Hell no.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. No, yeah,
That's
I
like you
think
saying that
asking.
you have a favorite child. It's like you don't say those things. Like you'll make the other ones
Yeah,
feel bad.
exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. I think asking DJs what's their favorite song or artist is dumb, and I just asked that, so I shout out to me. But yeah. So you did mention like a lot of relatives and amazing people that you met at the beginning of your career. Is there any particular artist or like I mean now or at the beginning of your career that like inspires you the most?
Okay,
Like work
artist.
ethic wise and then just the vibe they
Oh,
have.
okay. Man, shout out to Bruno Mars, man. Like Silk Sonic.
What?
No, I know that seems weird to say, but like he's like really changing back the game. I love his work ethics, even though he kind of like on drugs. But I do. There's so many artists. How can I pick one? I used to love Kanye West. I used to, but like
Same.
just like a Gemini to a Gemini, we get kind of crazy sometimes. We fall out of feelings. But I don't know. Yo, big ups to Bjork. Like I got inspired by
Woo!
Bjork one time. Yeah, big ups to FS Green. Big ups to Neo. Like, yo, I love Neo's flavor, and also what's homie's name? Pharrell. The production behind Pharrell, just knowing that just like a human, you don't have to age. That homie looked the same since birth, so he really inspired me to like work on my physical body. Cause he's like he looks the same. I don't know if he's an alien, but we'll figure that out one day. Um, yeah, his music really speaks volumes. So also Afrojack, Dead Mouse, like they inspired me to make music. Um, I don't know, man. There's so many
Mhm.
people. Like I'm just saying, like I said before, I feel like a sponge. Like I just like take in what I hear and like kind of like shift with them. So
Mhm. I can't believe this hour is almost like coming to an end. Like it just flew somewhere. Can we have
I
a
know what you
second
mean.
part? Can we do a second part?
If they
Um,
want it, that'd be cool. But like, nah.
do you want to let us know? Um,
Like I'll talk forever. That's my issue.
no, same. Yeah. Um, so I just want to keep on asking things. But okay, last question. I promise, because we know what's coming next. We want to hear from him as well. Shout out Pyro. Anyway, what would be your lesson or any tips and tricks for DJs, artists? I mean, you did mention quite a few from your personal life, but any like particular tips you would share?
Okay, I think first and foremost, like learning what a brand is pretty important. Just to have a steady path in your career. Like I don't believe that making a logo means that you made a brand or putting that logo on a shirt is like boosting a brand. It's like Hyatt trying to make a shoe. We don't know how it's gonna be. So branding is like creating a character. If I could describe it in any way, it's like a child. You give it a name, you give it a look, and you give it an action, and you got to update that all the time. So I would say keep consistent with your work as well. If you love something, go deep with it. Like study, like everything to the core, and figure out why everything moves the way it does. Personal practice behind the scenes really helps. Um, and just like reading and like I don't want to tell y'all to stay in school, but apparently it does help. So stay in school, kids, and don't do drugs.
Definitely. Okay, so I just have so much questions after that one, but yeah, we're gonna do a part two. I promise. I promise. Pinky finger
I'm down
promise
for it.
with John Daniels. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna do a um
Oh, okay.
second part
So,
soon.
by the way, where
Mhm.
can they find this right now? Cause like I feel like I want to share this out. How can we just like broadcast this to people who are on the radio listening, or like
Yeah,
um,
so definitely I will send it to you as well. But we are currently live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn,
oh, that's
Mixcloud.
super lit.
Let me just yeah, we obviously like we are currently live on 10 platforms, so after we finish this it's gonna stay there in couple of I think it's instant on Facebook, on YouTube and Mixcloud. It might take a couple of hours to like upload in the evening, but I'll also send you like audio and video file. I mean, I'm looking forward to share a snippet of you in my Instagram since you don't have one. At least I can pretend I'm
Say
you.
word.
Hi guys, this is
Yo,
me.
shout out to DJ Temmie one time. I just want to let her know.
Yeah, anyone wants to make a fake DJ John Daniels page? I have pictures. We can we can do that.
Yo, they were okay. So the other day, I know I only got 1 minute, but like the other
Yeah, don't
day,
worry.
Mo went on Instagram, looked up this guy named John Daniels. He has dreads. He's black. He's a musician, and he took my name. So
Woo!
if y'all see him, just like
Trademark.
send him a regard. I'm coming back to IG one day.
Trademark. All right. So until you're back, we're gonna make one for you and tell us where we can find the real you. Can we listen to you somewhere? Can we like sponsor?
Yeah, so I'm telling you, just like go on Google. If you have the internet, it is possible,
The
and type in
audacity. Google
DJ
me.
John Daniels. And please don't put an H in the John. There's no H. It does not exist. But
It's
yeah, just
silent.
like look that up and you'll find some art. You'll find some me and like, and we could connect.
Nice one. All right. Thank you for being here. And
Yo, thank you.
look out for part two.
Yo, shout out to Tony Flanger, Tim Timma, Mo, Temi, Mama, Ocean, Lord Ocean, Show You Momo. Shout out to all my people, Four Color Zach, Jazzy Jeff, all my people. Yo, man, shout out to Bigo, shout out to you, shout out to Discord, shout out to F Book. But yeah, anyways, peace.
Shout out to me.
Yeah, shout outs
And
Temi,
most
DJ Temi.
importantly, I
Okay, I
want to
gotta go.
thank me. Bye.